Hey guys, welcome to the podcast and the YouTube channel if you're watching on the channel. So glad to have you here. It is the Friday before my book release. The book is called Design, Profit, and Prosper, and you can find it on Amazon. Right now it's on pre-sale, so you can go check that out. I am so excited about this book. I'm excited about what you're going to learn in this book. And over the next several months, you'll hear me talking about models and things that I talk about from it. For those of you who really know me well, like my Design Suite members, or those of you who have been in a boot camp with me, I think you'll know that it sounds like me. But it was an interesting process getting it down onto paper and only being able to like package up a certain amount of it so that it would help you. I tried to choose the bits that I thought could help you the most. And because of that, I talk or I write about a lot of the frameworks that I use for how I run my own business. So one of the things I talk about in the book, and I thought I could talk about here, is I talk about hurdles. So in high school as a cross-country runner, I was not a track runner. To this day, I'm not a very fast runner, but if I start running, I can go for a very long time, for several hours actually. And I can just run at a very slow, steady pace. And I like it. I like running, but I'm just not very fast. So I had this thought about hurdles. And the very first time I got on a track field, and it was after I had run cross country. I was like, you know what? I'm not very fast, but I like running. So I thought I would try out track. Well, the first thing they put me on was hurdles. And I'm assuming you guys all know what that is, but they've got these little hurdles. They've got these like things that you have to jump over, okay? And I don't know how they train now on those. But the coach just was like, let's just see what happens when you try these. And so they put me a certain pace out, and they were trying several of us, so they weren't paying specific attention to me. And I'm sure this is the wrong way to do it, but this is a long time ago. And I ran, and then they showed me the jumping method, right? So I kind of knew how to jump. And I jumped, and I am not a tall jumper, and I didn't get enough air and totally hit the hurdle and went down with the hurdle. Okay. And I honestly, after that, I was like, not running track. I don't like this. I got scraped up, not doing it. I just didn't like it. Okay. So that's like literally the ending of the story. I was like, not doing this whole hurdle jumping thing. And it kind of put a distaste in my mouth for track in general. I decided I liked cross country. And even as an adult now, I like running, half marathons. I like my slow, long pace that I do. But it was good for me to figure that out. All of that to say, in design, we have certain hurdles, okay? And there are, in particular, 3 hurdles that I talk about in the book, and they're really related to good, better, best. So you're going to want to check that out. But I just want to talk about the first hurdle, which is the software. And so many times, this is the one that you try to jump over, you hit the hurdle, and you come flailing down on the ground with scrapes and just decide you will never do this design thing ever again. And I say this because it's a hurdle in that most people do not get past it. I think there are people out there who would say hurdles are bad. It's so terrible that these hurdles are there. But in my mind, hurdles are actually very beneficial. So let's take it back to me doing track. Maybe if I'd stuck with it, I would have found that track was my thing. But instead, right at the get-go, I kind of figured out I didn't like this. It felt a little scary to me. And it was just not my thing. And I found that I really, really enjoyed just running long distances, okay? That was a great thing for me to figure out at the very beginning. That's what the software, the first hurdle, does for a lot of people. If they find that they don't like sitting in front of the computer, in front of Illustrator for long periods of time, man, design is not for you, okay? at least not crafting and surface pattern design. Because the main thing we do is sit in front of a computer designing patterns, designing SVG files, designing Glowforge files, designing sublimation files. That is happening in the programs. And if you hate being in the programs, design is not for you, okay? So it's actually a really good thing because it separates the group out, right? Those that really don't love it, and then they know and they can be done, right? And those that find that they can ink their way through, maybe, okay, so here's a thought. What if I jumped that hurdle and I hit it and it hurt and I fell down, but I kind of got a thrill out of it? Like, what if that had happened instead of me just being like, this is not for me, I don't like this, right? I would have gotten back up, I would have tried it again if I'd gotten that thrill from it, right? And so actually we do this in design boot camp. If you've been to one of my design boot camps, I give a couple of Illustrator tutorials. And, as I'm talking to people about Design Suite and people want to come into the program, one of the things I like to ask in a consult is, did you do those Illustrator tutorials? Because if they're brand new to Illustrator, it's a test. If you enjoyed making the things I make with you, then what does that tell me? Even if you got a little scraped up, you thought it was fun. You could handle being in the software. However, if you were someone that you did it and it just felt like kicking and screaming and the worst thing ever, I know that design is not for you. It's a great test. And so if you fall down from the hurdle, scraped up, and you just hated that and you were like, I never want to do that again, you know, and you move on. If you get scraped up, you jump over it, it comes down with you, but you thought it was kind of cool, now we're talking. Now we've got something interesting to work with. Because if you enjoyed some of the process, I can do something with that, right? If you kind of enjoyed being in the software, even if it was a little bit tough for you. And then I have other people who get in there, do it for the first time, and they're just like, oh man, this is way easier than I thought. If you've taken my free training, I think I quote Andrea, who, when I talk about drawing, who was like, it is so crazy, I never thought I could do this because I didn't think I could draw. And I really try to show people that software mitigates that gap with the drawing. And that's what I'm hoping for you, okay? That as you're kind of trying that software, you know where the divide is. Are you enjoying it? Maybe design really is for you. You hating it? Maybe it's time to go look elsewhere. And that's why I like hurdles. And I talk about more hurdles in the book, so you're going to want to check that out. But I just think it's really helpful to know that hurdles are a good thing, not a bad thing. People don't want the conflict. They think it feels hard. When hurdles, all they are is a test. It's a test of whether you enjoy something or you hate something, right? And the other reason I like it, and I like the symbology, that's not a word, the symbolism of it. Oh, holy cow, you guys. The symbolism of it, because what happens is, there are lots of people on one side of the hurdle. You might think of it as a wall. There are lots of people on this side who say they want to become designers. But the only ones who actually become designers are the ones who jump over all the hurdles, right? First one being learning the software. And so if you're someone who is willing to learn the software, to put in the work, and you jump over that first hurdle, you leave all the rest of these other people behind. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing, because it weeds out the people who really want it and are willing to do the work for it, and those that do not. And I think that weeder is really important because it should make you feel better. Because if you're someone who works hard, who are willing to follow the strategies and find mentorship where someone's going to help you get that inside scoop and you can get to the next level, what happens? You move along while everybody else doesn't, okay? And while it's definitely not oh my gosh, it is definitely not competitive that way, it's simply the difference between skill and not having skill, right? For example, I don't want a doctor doing surgery on me unless he's taken a test or two, right? I want the attorney who's helping me to be the one who took his bar and did a great job and has defended a few cases, right? Same with design. We want people who are well skilled to be the ones that are doing the design work. And everybody else over here that aren't willing to do the work, who aren't willing to really try to win at the test, they shouldn't be doing design work, okay? And so that's why for you, if you are listening to this and you are someone who wants to do the work, you should look at the software as an amazing opportunity. Not just a hurdle, but an amazing opportunity. So I hope you have a chance to check out the book and read about the other hurdles that I talk about. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's coming out this Sunday. It's so fun. If you love the Make and Design podcast, thanks for, first of all, being here with me. And you want to see me in real life, come over to the YouTube channel and you can subscribe there and you will see amazing things coming up. Now, I've hinted at a few things, but I am telling you mid-April, you're going to want to see what we have going on. We have something that has literally been in the works for over a year. And it's taken a little while for us to get it together, but we're really excited to be releasing a new series on the YouTube channel that we hope that you will enjoy. It'll have its own playlist, and we think that you'll really like it, okay? More on the book throughout this month and the next months as we move forward, but as always, you can go grab it at Amazon and just put in Carina Gardner or Carina Gardner Design, Profit, and Prosper.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.